Welcome back to my channel. Marina here, and as always, I'm excited to come to you in another video. It's been a while since I sat down to film one of this, so I'm really excited to be coming to you in a new video. If you're new here, welcome. You picked a great video to start with, so please do well to check out other videos on my channel, and if you find something that interests you, hit the subscribe button and join the family. To my returning subscribers, welcome. Thank you as always. In today's video, guys, I thought it would be a great time for us to talk about back to school. In the coming week, children across Canada will be heading back to school, and I thought it would be a great time for us to come chit chat, parent to parent, just to talk about some things that we all need to be mindful of in the school year. First of all, can we just take a pause and have a minute of silence for summer of 2025? I'm not sure I fully understand what that was, but it was not, the summer didn't summer. Summer did not summer, because what we saw was not the summer that we're all used to. It was a combination of rain, smoke, and a few days of extreme heat where nobody could be outside. So I'm not sure what happened, but just like that, summer is gone. Winter is coming. I hate to be the bringer of bad news, but it is coming. Okay? So yeah, now that summer is almost officially over and our kids are going back to school, I just thought we'll come chit chat. There are a couple of things that I think it is important for us to remind our children as we go back to school. The first is the place of kindness, guys. This feels like we've overflogged this conversation a lot of times, but it is important for us to revisit the concept of kindness and how to show basic kindness to another person, to another child, to another student, to somebody who's in a higher class or lower class, or your peer, or even your teachers, or the school administrators. There is a need for us to talk about this. Please remind your children to be kind to people, there are some kind of names that children should not be calling each other. There are some kind of things that children should not be saying to each other. Like I heard stories last year from my kids, from other parents, the kind of conversations that were happening on like school buses, on the playground. Sometimes my children come home and they can't wait to say, "Mom, what is the meaning of this? What's the meaning of it?" I'm like, "I'm sorry, what? Why are you asking me that? Where did that come from?" And it was conversations that people were having on the school ground, on the playground, conversations that came up in class. Kindness, we need to reemphasize. We need to reemphasize and remind our children that kindness is a basic thing. It's a basic thing. At this point, I don't even want to say they are repeating what has been modeled to them, because more than half the time that's what's happening. But there have been other times where they are picking up these habits from places outside of their homes, right? So I'm well aware of that, which is why it's important for us to keep talking. There's no blaming here. There's no shaming here. I'm just saying, one parent to the other, please let's remind our children the importance of kindness. And kindness can look different. It can cut across many different areas. It might be in the how you talk to people, not calling people names. When I say I heard names that children were calling each other, it baffled me, even me as a parent. Let's not call each other names. People are going to learn differently. In class, there will be people who one try, they get the concept. For some other people, they are going to need extra help. For some other people, they need a second person to sit beside them and teach them and help them catch what other children catch by just listening to it. Please let children not make fun of people who need additional support to learn. Please let's not make fun of people who did not come back to school with brand new items. That's a privilege. Some people don't have that privilege. So please let's remind our children the concept of kindness we cannot overemphasize, but it's very important that we have these conversations. People are going to look different from us. We don't have any option but to respect the differences. You don't have to agree with everything that is happening with other people, but it is not in our place to now go and drag them or rub it in their face that something is wrong with them simply because they understand things differently from us. Families look different in Canada. Families look different. The values in families are going to differ. If you meet people whose values are different from yours, I don't think it should now be the basis of fighting or bullying or calling them out, or basically calling out things because they are different from what you know. It's not in our place to do that. So please, again, let's just remember the concept of kindness. Concept of a basic kind way to treat another person as a human being. There were so many stories last year of chaos that was happening on like school buses. There are a couple of groups that I'm in where there are parents, where there are professionals in different areas. And there were times where conversations came up here and there, and it seemed like parents across different parts of the city, across even different parts of the province, were having the same issues with there's a lot of chaos going on in school buses. And again, it still comes back to this concept of people not being kind to each other, raising voices at each other, calling each other names. And at some point, there was even putting hands on each other. That's not okay, parents. That's not okay. So please, let's just remind our children that there is decorum that is expected when you are in shared spaces. In school, when it's on the playground and it's play equipment that you share, there is decorum that is needed in sharing that. There is decorum when you're in the school bus. If you have an assigned seat, just go to the assigned seat. It's okay to want to have fun, but raising voices and shouting and putting hands on other people, that's not acceptable. So please, let's all just have these conversations and reiterate these things. If it's conversations you're already having, all well and good, but at this point, it is needed for us to sit down and remind our children what is acceptable and what is not. Schools have rules. At the end of the day, your children being in school is a partnership between the school and the parent. School, that 10 months they spend in the school year or 9 months or whatever that comes to, it's a partnership between us and the school. School does not automatically become a replacement for discipline that should happen at home. It is a partnership, not a replacement. All of the concepts that your children need to learn for holistic learning in the school year, it's not entirely up to the school. It's not entirely up to their teachers. You have a role to play and you must step up to play that role. Because think about it, the class sizes are getting bigger. As the population of the country explodes, the class sizes are getting bigger. And unfortunately, we're seeing budget cuts across education in multiple provinces. So the teachers don't have enough resources to keep up with the number of children in their class. So imagine one teacher having 30 students in their class. Do you think that they have enough time in a 6.5 hour day? Say 6 hours, because if you remove break time and play time and all of that, let's say 6 hours. They spend 6 hours with your children in class every day. Do you think they have enough time to allocate enough time to each of the 30 students that are in their class to now be responsible for their discipline? No, they don't, because they are not magicians. So there's still a role that you play. Discipline is going to be a partnership. Enforcing what you want to see in your child, the goals that you have for your children in the school year, is going to have to be a partnership between you and the school. So pay attention. Do your part. Do your part. Teachers are not babysitters. I had the privilege of joining the parent council in my children's school last year, and I would say that I learned so much more about the school and the challenges, the victories, the everything that goes on kind of behind the scenes. I learned a bit of that in the last school year. With the budget cuts, I heard firsthand that teachers are using their own money to buy materials that they need for their classrooms. Teachers are using their own money to fund the classes. Teachers are using their own money to buy class supplies so that the children who don't have enough will have. Teachers are doing a lot more than they should be doing. That's the truth. And then budgets are getting cut with education. The class sizes are getting bigger, the money is getting smaller. So there's pressure. There's pressure on our teachers. There's pressure on the school system. That's where you as a parent come in. Did you know that when schools organize school lunches and they do like bake sales and things like that, do you know that it's an indirect way of raising money so that there is an extra pocket that teachers can go to, or an extra pocket that can fund some of these classroom supplies so that teachers are not doing it out of pocket? Did you know that? I learned that last year. So next time when you see that announcement go out for school lunches, what really happens with the school lunches is, for instance, if they're buying something from a store and the item is $1, the school can then now make it $1.25 or $1.50. That extra 50 cents that is put on top what it will be in the store, it goes into like a collective fund. In some schools, that's what funds like tech. In some schools, they use it to support the school in buying equipment that the children need for like the playground. I know that last year we bought some extra skis for children so that when they go skiing, the children who don't bring their own skis from home can have a school supply of those things so that children can use them. Some classrooms use like Chromebooks and other kinds of tablets. When it's time for those things to be changed, it's a lot of money to change so many of them at the same time. For some schools, that tech fund that is basically an accumulation of the extras that are put on top of school lunches is what funds some of those things. It's what funds it. I didn't know that. I did not know that until I joined the parent council. So what I'm encouraging you to do is be a little more involved in the parent activities that happen in your school. When they call for AGMs, for annual general meetings, all the schools have them, both the Catholic and the public. Now, for those of you who have your children in private schools, you might not be able to relate to anything I just said about not having enough class supplies or budget cuts and things like that because you're already paying for them. For the public and the Catholic schools where we don't outright pay school fees, some of these concerns are what we're seeing now. And that's where we come in as a parent. The truth is, the extra 50 cents that's on top the dollar or whatever it is, because I've heard some people say the school lunches are more expensive than it is in the store. Like, yes, this is why. The extras go back to supporting your children. The extras go back to supporting the learning of your children. So please, there needs to be a little more uptake, because this conversation has happened in many rooms that I've been in, and people are like, no, I don't even bother. I just give them their own lunch from home. I've been guilty of that because I didn't know. I didn't know any differently. Now that I know that this school year we are going to be involved in all of the school lunches, because I now have the understanding that it's for a worthy cause. If you are not sure what happens in the school where your kids are at, where all of those school lunches and how it works, you can ask them. You can ask the school administrators. You can reach out to the parent council in your school. Look out for that and ask questions. Ask them what's really happening. That being said, there needs to be a little more representation in parent councils across different schools. The ignorance is staggering. Me too, I've been ignorant. I just got delivered last year, so I'm not judging. I'm just saying we need to all step up. Step up and see where you can help. Step up and see where you come in. What is the help that is needed? How can I be there? Because if you do not step up, there will not be representation. Your point of view will not be considered when decisions are made. Your perspective and your actual realities will not be considered when certain decisions need to be made. Last year, we had elections in the Catholic School Board in across Saskatoon. And when I looked at the list of the people who were to vote for, let's just say that more representation is needed. And except we as the parents step up, except we're stepping up, again, it will continue to look like that. Your perspective will not be considered when decisions need to be made. I want you to remember that. So as a parent, there's responsibility on us to play our part. We need to play our part. We can no longer just sit down and say, after all, the education is free. That free education is at a cost. It's at a cost of something. And with the way the numbers are going to increase in this year, because every year the population increases. With the way the numbers are going to increase, the money is not, the budget that has been allocated is not increasing at the same pace. So there is need for us to step up and be involved. The last thing I'm going to talk about for you as parents is your relationship with like your children's teachers, the school administrators, and all of that. The truth of the matter is that, like I said, there is a role that everybody plays. The school has the responsibility to create a safe, non-toxic, non-threatening, bias-free environment for our children to learn. But we know that that's not 100% of the case. There are people who have dealt with really difficult situations in school. Some children have dealt with really toxic situations in their classroom. I have personal experiences of my child being literally bullied by the teacher. It's easy when we talk about child-to-child bullying, but nobody has a conversation around bullying from teacher to student. We have experienced it in this family. I know that those things exist, is what I'm trying to say. But I think that a great way for us to cultivate these really great relationships with the school administrators is to first approach them with grace. Is to first approach the thing with courtesy, with grace, with kindness. Not everything is going to be fight from the get-go. I understand that your children are your precious jewel, the apples of your eye, but no, not everything requires you going to war to sort it. Sometimes what you need to do is just stop, ask questions, and listen. Sometimes that's where you need to start from. Ask the questions and listen. Because in actual sense, as our children grow, we discover them as they grow. There are some versions of your children that you may not get first-hand view of that the teachers have. So look at it like it's a partnership. I'm partnering with this person. I'm trusting my child into your room for the next 10 months. How can we make this work? As against, I don't want this, I don't want that. I've seen it happen. I have seen cases where teachers send messages to parents to say, oh, this is what happened in the class, and immediately it is attack, immediately it is fight. Let's not do it like that this year. This time, say, can we have a conversation? Tell me a little more about why you feel this way. What can we do about it? There are many amicable ways that we can use to sort things that does not immediately resort to attack. Not everything is racism. Not everything is discrimination. Sometimes just pause, extend grace. For some of you, your children are going to be dealing with new school administrators. Everybody's going into a new class, except your children were in like split classes where they are remaining in the same class. They most likely will have a new teacher. This is your opportunity to cultivate new relationships. It's an opportunity for you to build new relationships with the teachers, with the administrators. Some schools are getting new administrators. So people are going to be trying to get to know your children. And when in that relationship, in the beginning stage of any relationship, there's always that part where things will stumble. It's like the teething stage in a child. They will struggle. By the end of the day, the goal is for us to seamlessly, as parents and teachers, seamlessly provide a wholesome experience for our children in the school year. Extend courtesy. When you're trying to make your point, extend courtesy. Approach it from the standpoint of grace first. No matter how much you have been burned in the past, please don't take out your past experience on people who were not there when those past experiences happened. Don't bleed on the people who didn't cut you. Don't bleed on them, okay? Overall, it is my prayer that all of our children are safe and sound and they have an amazing school year. And I'm praying that all of us will get the wisdom to know when to step up, to know what our responsibilities are, and everybody step up so that there will be nothing broken, there will be nothing lacking, and there will be nothing missing in the end. Everybody has played their part. Well, thank you very much for watching this video. If you're a parent in Canada, are you looking forward to the school year? Do you have any tips? How do you relate with your children's teachers, the school administrators? Do you have any traditions that you have with your children before they go back to school? If you're comfortable, please share that in the comment section. I'll be looking to learn from you, and other parents can learn as well. Thank you very much for watching this video. Please do not forget to subscribe on your way out. And until I come your way in the next one, it's your girl as always saying thank you and have an awesome day.